কৃষ্ণ যাদবায় নমো, যাদবায় মাধবায় কেশবায় নমো। হরি হরায় নমো কৃষ্ণ যাদবায় নমো, যাদবায় মাধবায় কেশবায় নমো। গোপাল গোবিন্দ রাম শ্রী মধুসূদন, গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ মদন মোহন। গোপাল গোবিন্দ রাম শ্রী মধুসূদন, গিরিধারী গোপীনাথ মদন মোহন। শ্রী চৈতন্য নিত্যানন্দ শ্রী অদ্বৈত সীতা, হরি গুরু বৈষ্ণব ভাগবত গীতা। শ্রী চৈতন্য নিত্যানন্দ শ্রী অদ্বৈত সীতা, হরি গুরু বৈষ্ণব ভাগবত গীতা। শ্রী রূপ শ্রী সনাতন ভট্ট রঘুনাথ, শ্রীজীব গোপাল ভট্ট দাস রঘুনাথ। শ্রী রূপ শ্রী সনাতন ভট্ট রঘুনাথ, শ্রীজীব গোপাল ভট্ট দাস রঘুনাথ। এই ছয় গোসাইর করি চরণ বন্দন, যাহা হইতে বিঘ্ন নাশ অভীষ্ট পূরণ। এই ছয় গোসাইর করি চরণ বন্দন, যাহা হইতে বিঘ্ন নাশ অভীষ্ট পূরণ। এই ছয় গোসাই যার মুই তার দাস, তা সবার পদরেণু মোর পঞ্চগ্রাস। এই ছয় গোসাই যার মুই তার দাস, তা সবার পদরেণু মোর পঞ্চগ্রাস। তাদের চরণ সেবী ভক্ত সনেবাস, জনমে জনমে হয় এই অভিলাষ। তাদের চরণ সেবী ভক্ত সনেবাস, জনমে জনমে হয় এই অভিলাষ। এই ছয় গোসাই যবে ব্রজে কৈলাবাস, রাধা কৃষ্ণ নিত্য লীলা করিলা প্রকাশ। আনন্দে বল হরি ভজ বৃন্দাবন, শ্রী গুরু বৈষ্ণব পদে মজায় আমন। আনন্দে বল হরি ভজ বৃন্দাবন, শ্রী গুরু বৈষ্ণব পদে মজায় আমন। শ্রী গুরু বৈষ্ণব পাদ পদ্ম করিয়াস, নাম সংকীর্তন কহে নরোত্তম দাস। শ্রী গুরু বৈষ্ণব পাদ পদ্ম করিয়াস, নাম সংকীর্তন কহে নরোত্তম দাস। হরি হরায় নমো কৃষ্ণ যাদবায় নমো, যাদবায় মাধবায় কেশবায় নমো। হরি হরায় নমো কৃষ্ণ যাদবায় নমো, যাদবায় মাধবায় কেশবায় নমো। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 রাম।
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much, Ishwar Krishna Prabhu, for playing a wonderful song. And I'm not going to try to name all the devotees who joined today because I don't want to make a mistake. I just walked in. But also, I would like to welcome Kartika Chandra Prabhu and also Shrikant Survasi Prabhu. Now we have two Shrikant. One Shrikant Ji and another is Srikant Survase from Houston. So welcome back, Prabhu, after the 6 weeks of trip to India. So we will continue reading the Jaiva Dharma book. We offer our humble obeisances at the desk of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He can bestow the mercy so we can understand the message that he would like to deliver. The purpose of writing the book is to share the realizations and something that can help other people in their devotional life. And this chapter is very appropriate for the Grihastha to read. So I just will start with one paragraph that we read yesterday, and then we will continue reading. One day, Chandidas told his wife, "O Mother of Hari, it is not high time that we stop talking or even thinking about our children. We must have committed many sinful activities to have taken birth in the families of merchants. Influenced by our association and surrounding, we were always stingy and never hospitable, either to the guest or to the Vaishnava sadhus. Now, if we can earn some money here, we should try to be generous and hospitable and serve the sadhus. This will ensure for us a better birth in the next life. I have decided to open a grocery store and will borrow some money from the landlord to start the business." That's where we stopped yesterday. A few days later, Chandidas opened a small shop and soon began profiting from the sales. So after satisfying their own hunger and needs, the couple could feed at least one guest every day. Chandidas now happily foresaw an end to his days of struggle. Having had some previous education, he spent his leisure time in the grocery shop reading a book called Sri Krishna Vijaya by C. Gunraj Khan. For 6 months, he ran his business honestly and hosted guests daily. By then, the residents of Kuliagram had become acquainted with Chandidas' background and looked upon him with a new respect. Yadavadas, a Grihastha Vaishnava, was also living in that village, and every day he held a public reading of the famous biographical work on the pastime of Sri Chaitanya, called Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, which Chandidas would sometime attend. Yadavadas and his wife had dedicated their lives to serving the Vaishnavas. And now, Chandidas and his wife, being inspired by this example, also began to serve the Vaishnavas. One day, Chandidas inquired of Yadavadas, quote, "What is this samsara, material existence?" Yadavadas replied, quote, "The holy island of Godruma Dvip on the other side of the Ganga shelters many knowledgeable Vaishnavas. Let us both go there and place this question before them. Many times previously, I have been there for spiritual education, and at present, the Vaishnava scholars of Godrum Dvip are known to be much more learned in the scripture than the Brahmana Pandits. Everyone knows that recently the Brahmana Pandit received a good tracing from the hands of one Sri Vaishnava Das Babaji in a scriptural debate. So definitely, the Vaishnava will be able to properly answer your questions. Yadavadas and Chandidas decided to cross the Ganga and next day and visit Vaishnavas. Damayanti Devi, whose miserliness had disappeared, but regularly serving the Vaishnavas, said, "Good, I would like to accompany you both to go to Madhya." So Yadavadas replied, "None of the Vaishnavas there is a Grihastha. They are mostly renounced Vaishnavas who have left their homes. I'm worried that if you come, they may be disturbed." Damayanti insisted, quote, "I will remain at a respectable distance and from there offer my obeisances to them. I will not enter inside their kunj grove. I'm just an old lady. Certainly they will not be angry." Yadavadas replied, quote, "Yes, it is not customary for a woman to enter that kunj. You should remain at another place close by, and on our way back, we will all return together." It was 3 in the afternoon when they alighted from the ferry boat and proceeded toward Pradyumna Kunj. Damayanti Devi offered her pranams from the entrance of the Kunj and went away to sit at a distance under a shady old banyan tree. Yadavadas and Chandidas entered the Kunj and offered their Dandavat pranams. With sincere devotion to the assemblies of Vaishnavas seated upon Sri Madhavi Malti Mandap, Sri Paramahans Babaji was sitting there, surrounded by Vaishnava Das Babaji, Lahiri Mahasaya, Ananta Das Babaji, and many others. Yadavadas and Chandidas came near and quietly sat down next to them. Ananta Das Babaji questioned, "Who is this new person?" Yadavadas explained the recent history of Chandidas and the reason for their visit. Ananta Das Babaji spoke out with a touch of humor. "Oh yes, this is actually Sansar. One who has understood what Sansar means is intelligent. And he who is swirling unknowingly in the whirlpool of Sansar is pitiable." Nitya Sukruti unfailingly brings great spiritual benedictions, and Chandida's consciousness had been becoming purified gradually through his recent activities, serving Vaishnavas, reading Vaishnavas literature, hearing spiritual topic are all Nitya Sukruti. And by performing these activities, the heart is cleansed and faith in pure devotional service is easily evoked. This was Chandida's present conditions. And as Anantadas Babaji spoke, his heart softened and he inquired, "My humble prayer is that you may kindly enlighten me about the true nature of samsara." Anantadas Babaji, quote, "Chandidas, your question is somewhat difficult. I would rather inquire from Sri Paramahans Premdas Babaji or Vaishnavadas Babaji." Paramhans Premdas Babaji responded, quote, Anantadas Babaji's capacity is equal to the gravity of this question. Today, we will receive spiritual instructions from him. Anantadas Babaji started, quote, "Now that I have the approval of the assembly to speak, I must certainly say everything within my knowledge. And at the very outset, I meditated upon the lotus feet of my Gurudev, Srila Pradyumna Brahmachari, who is an eternal associate of the Supreme Lord, and begged for his blessings." So there are two distinctive conditions of the jiva. He is either liberated or otherwise he is entangled in material life, known as samsara. The liberated jiva is a pure devotee of Krishna who has never come under the sway of Maya. Or alternatively, he has transcended the material nature by the mercy of Sri Krishna and now in the liberated situation. So one who has turned away from Krishna and denied a relationship with him falls into the clutches of Maya. Thus he is entangled in samsara from a time without beginning. The liberated jiva, on the other hand, being fully engaged in service to Krishna, is transcendentally situated. He is not located in the material nature, but rather is an eternal residence of one of the transcendental spiritual abodes, such as Goloka, Vaikuntha, and Vrindavan. There is an unlimited number of liberated souls. The number of materially entangled souls is also endlessly numerous. Since they have rejected Krishna, Maya, the illusory energy and shadow potency of Krishna, has imprisoned them in the mundane nature by covering them with the three material gunasattva, goodness, rajas, and passion, and tama, ignorance. Diversity in the material condition of the jiva is the result of varying intensities and combination of these three gunas. Their variations are evident to the jiva's psychognomy, Physognomy, mentality, habits, geographical situation, speed of movement, physical capability, and so on. In his pure state, this self-cognizance of the jiva is, quote, "I'm an eternal servant of Krishna." However, upon entering the mundane plane, each jiva adopts false identities throughout his many different lives, and thus perceives himself in so many changing roles. I'm a human being, I'm a deva, I'm an animal, I'm a king, I'm a brahmana, I'm a chandal, I'm a sick man, I'm a hungry man, I'm an insulted person, I'm a benefactor, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a son, I'm an enemy, I'm a friend, I'm a scholar, I'm handsome, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm courageous, I'm weak, and so on endlessly. These false identities are known as ahankar, false egoism. There is also a further covering energy which is known as mamata, attachment. These complete the jiva to identify himself as the possessor of material object and persons. This is illustrated with such concept as this is my house. There are my possessions. This is my body. This is my caste. This is my race. This is my strength. There are my these are my looks. These are my qualities. This is my education. This is my renunciation. This is my knowledge. These are my achievements. This is my wealth. These are my servant, etc., etc. So this massive, intricate net woven by the false concept of me and mine is, in a word, samsara. Yadavadas. In the condition imprisoned material existence, me and mine are certainly prominent within the consciousness of the jiva. Do they remain in the liberated state of the jiva? Anantadas Babaji. Quote, in the liberated condition, the concept of me and mine are purely spiritual and free of all material inebriety. When in transcendence, the jiva identified himself with his pure self, which is the constitutional nature bestowed upon him by Sri Krishna. On the liberated spiritual platform, there are innumerable identities of me that are real egotism of the jiva. And being thus established as the servitors of Sri Krishna, the jivas experience the many varieties of chitaras, spiritual mallows. The numerous ingredients that comprise this chitaras inspire a sense of wanting to be the possessors, from which the spiritual concept of mind develops. Okay, we have a good time today. Yadavadas. Then why is it mistake to expand to such a wide range of me and mine in the conditioned state? Anantadas Babaji, in the pure state, me and mine are absolute realities. They have factual existence. But in samsara, all varieties of me and mine are false and artificially imposed. They do not represent the true self of the jiva. Rather, they are transitory, illusory identifications. All such myriad identities in samsara are temporary and artificial, and as such are the cause of transient, mundane joys and sorrows. Yadadas. Is material samsara a falsity? Anantadas Babaji. This material world is not false. It is factual. By Krishna's will, however, it is the materially conditioned jiva concept of me and mine that are false and illusory. Moreover, the very instant that the jiva enters this mundane nature, his problematic false self identified begins. The Mayavadi speculators wrongly claim that this world is an illusion. Therefore, they must be seen as offenders. Yadavdas. Why does the jiva pursue this false identification? Anantadas Babaji. Bhagwan is Purna Chit Vastu, complete spiritual being, and the jiva is an infinitesimal Chit Vastu, spiritual spark. Initially, the jiva was situated on the borderline between the material and spiritual world. From this location, those jiva who did not forget their relationship to Sri Krishna become fortified with the Chit Sakti, spiritual energy, and were attracted into the spiritual realm. Thus, they entered the transcendental abode of Sri Krishna and became engrossed in his service as his eternal associates, simultaneously experiencing divine ecstasy. Meanwhile, those jivas who desire to enjoy the material world separately from Sri Krishna, thus rejecting him, were automatically dragged down by Maya and cast into the prison house of samsara. Since the moment of entrance into the material world, the jiva has lost his true spiritual identity and has become overtaken by the false pride of material identity. He thinks himself as the Lord of all. He surveys and maintains other such misconceptions. Yadavadas, why do we fail to awaken our real original identity despite all our attempts? Anandas Babaji, this is really related to us, right? We are putting so much effort. Human spiritual endeavor may be divided into two categories, appropriate and inappropriate. If appropriate endeavors are made, they will definitely remove our false pride and false egoism. However, on the other hand, how can one expect positive result from inappropriate endeavors? Yadavadas, kindly enumerate the inappropriate endeavors. Anandas Babaji, to follow the Karmakand methodology, thinking that such practice will cleanse the consciousness, enlighten one with the non-dual Brahman realization, which will then in turn eradicate Maya, is an example of inappropriate endeavor. Another example is to try through the Eightfold Yoga system, known as Ashtanga Yoga, to enter transcendental samadhi. This is almost impossible. There are many other inappropriate endeavors of this type. I think that we should stop here. It's already the time has come that we need to stop and remain punctual in our activities. So with those thoughts, always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. And whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life can also become successful and totally fearless. With those thoughts, I would like to offer my humble obeisances to all the wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis that despite how busy their life they are living in Sansar Chakra, but they are taking determined effort to wake up early in the morning, despite everybody wants to sleep in the morning, and take that austerity. So I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the desk of those great devotees who joined from Houston, from India, from New Jersey, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Alachua, Austin, College Station, San Jose, Tempe, Phoenix, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Brampton, and New Orleans. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhaya vacha patitanam bhavanebhyo